Thanks, Judy. Yeah, I was in your shoes, and guys, when you're talking about HSAs and bringing them into the picture, it's confusing. There's some muddy waters there. My wife just began to understand it 2 years ago, and I sell it. So so don't feel bad. So I've taken a lot of questions today, being on the floor outside. We're going to talk about two different things. Okay, so with WageWorks, there's a flexible spending account and there's a health savings account. I'm going to give a little overview of both of those, and we're going to start with the FSA. So just to kind of level set, if you're doing more of a traditional health plan, then the flexible spending, the FSA, is something that you would consider. If you're looking at the high deductible health plan, then the HSA, the health savings account, is what you would consider. Okay, so I'm going to do a little overview of both. We're going to talk about the debit card that will be being mailed to your house. I've heard that in the past you had to pay for cards. With WageWorks, they're free. If you want a card for a spouse, it's free. I'm going to show you how to get it. If you want one for a child, a dependent, they're free. If you lose it, you want another one, it's free. So they're free. It's a very simple process. We're going to talk about using the card. I'm going to show you our mobile app, okay? iPhones, Androids, Blackberries. If you have an app store, you can go in, you can download this app and make your life a lot easier. I'm going to show you how that thing works. We'll put it up on the big screen. And then we're going to jump on the website. I'm going to show you how to maneuver through there and what some of the bells and whistles are and some of the hot points of what you're going to be interested in. Okay, so looking at flexible spending first. With a flexible spending, you can elect up to $2,500. And this is if you're on the traditional health plan. You can set aside $2,500 at the beginning of the year. You declare how much you want to set aside. It'll then be taken out of equal paychecks for the remainder of the year. You have access to these funds on day one. You can use it for yourself, your spouses, dependents, everybody. Depending on your tax bracket, you're going to be saving 30 to 40% on medical expenses. And we're going to get into what some of those medical expenses are. You can use it for medical, you can use it for dental, for vision, and as I said, for you or your dependents. So looking down the line, we see some of the things that you can use these for when you're going to see physicians, prescription medicines, chiropractor appointments. Sometimes we hear about over-the-counter drugs. Over-the-counter drugs, you can use your flexible spending for that too. You need a doctor's note or a prescription to submit that to WageWorks. It's not WageWorks saying that, it's the IRS. They changed it a couple years ago and that's what it is. But if you want Tylenol, tell your doc next time you're in there, say, hey, will you write me a note that I need Tylenol? They're more than happy to do it. You submit it to us, buy all the Tylenol you want. So we talked about the debit card. You've got the debit card and you can use it at the doctor, you can use it at the pharmacies. There's something, it's called IIAS, okay? This is something that, it's a certification agency that certifies physicians and certifies places that sell medical items. And it allows us to communicate with them so that we know if you are at Sears trying to swipe your card or if you're at Walgreens. So we know if you're at Walgreens and you're trying to buy a prescription, it communicates to us that we can let this transaction go through. So there's a couple different ways that you can use your flexible spending account. The number one up here on the list is we've got Pay Me Back. So let's say that you're out and you don't have your card with you and you need to buy something, you make a purchase, you give them $20 cash, you come to WageWorks and I'll show you how to do it. We go on the website, we hit Pay Me Back and you're going to submit your receipt, you're going to say I paid $20, pay me back. WageWorks will pay you back. We'll send you a check, you can sign up for a direct deposit, we'll put the money right in your account. The second one is Pay by the Card. That's where you can swipe the card and 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the end of it. You're not going to have to give a receipt or anything else. There's Pay My Provider. This one's great, okay? It's just like an online bill pay. You come into your account and let's say you've got an EOB for an expense. You go into your account, you type in your doctor's name, doctor's address, the account number, you put a scan in of the EOB and you hit Pay. WageWorks will submit a check to the physician, to the provider. So we'll do that for you. Let's say you've got orthodontia. Okay, it's the same payment every single month. $87.12 for my son's braces, right? So you can go in and you can set recurring payments so that they will just go out. It'll be paid on the 5th of each month from your FSA account. So you can set those up. Pretty cool. And then the last thing is the Easy Receipts. That's the name of our app. Okay, you can go into your app store, you type in WageWorks or Easy Receipts. I'm going to show you how this works too. Very slick. So just to kind of look at what it looks like if you were to take advantage of flexible spending, you've got your different expenses throughout the year, and we come to $2,500, which is the maximum that you can elect. And based on your tax bracket, you're going to save some money. So whether you're considering the FSA or the HSA, if you know you're going to be seeing a doctor, you're going to be going to the dentist, you're going to be buying eyeglasses, things along those lines, you can pay full price or you can do it pre-tax. Now, something else with flexible spending is dependent care. If you have children at home, if you have elderly parents that you're taking care of, you can use pre-tax dollars for that as well. Now, you can use up to $5,000 for your dependent care expenses. You use it for nanny, after-school programs, whatever it may be. Now, two differences between the FSA and the medical and the dependent care. With the medical, you've got access to however much you elect. You've got access on day one. So on July 2nd, July 1st, you can walk in and get LASIK surgery for $2,500 and swipe your card, and it's good. The money's there. With dependent care, you only have access to how much money has come out of your paycheck so far. So if you've got an expense for $400 and you've got $300 in your account and you submit it to WageWorks, we'll pay the $300, and then once the next contribution comes in, then we'll true up and we'll get the money back to you or to your provider. Here's a couple of the different programs that you can use this for, and you can use the app for this too. It's pretty cool.
Do you want to just add in that in order to do dependent care, you have to have either it's so that you can go to work or to school. It's not just babysitting for movie night or something. Exactly right.
Exactly right. Okay, so that's a quick summary on flexible spending accounts. Now we're going to move into health savings accounts. So this is for those who elect the high deductible health plan. Okay, you can only take advantage of the HSA if you're enrolled in an HDHP. Okay, WageWorks, we're the partner, we're the vendor on this, and you've got a couple different options. You can take funds, you can. Let me take a step back. What you'll do is you'll decide how much you want to contribute. Okay, there's a family amount, there's an individual amount, and you can change this throughout the year. What a lot of people do is they say that, what's my deductible? Look at what your deductible is in your high deductible health plan, and let me put enough money into my account so that I can just use my card and pay for that up until I get to my deductible. And then, as we know, once your deductible is met, then UVU takes over for you. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is people want to contribute as much as they can and use this as a tax vehicle, tax savings vehicle. A couple things to think about if you want to be strategic with a health savings account is every dollar that goes into this account is not going towards your taxable income. Okay, so if your taxable income is lowering, your tax bracket is lowering. So it's something to be strategic about as far as how much you pay as a family with taxes. Unlike the FSA, which I don't think I covered this, but 1 second back on the FSA, there is a use it or lose it. So whatever you elect on that FSA has to be used within the calendar year. So coming up on the end of the year, you're going to be looking at your balance and you're going to want to spend that money down one way or another. Back over on the side of the HSA, there's no use it or lose it. It's your money. It's your money. If you quit tomorrow, it's your money. It stays with you as long as you've got money in that account, whether you're an employee of UVU or anywhere else. This money can grow. There's options. You can keep it as just cash, or you can invest these dollars into investment accounts. And I'm going to show you how we do that too. It's just like a 401k. If you want your money to grow, there's an opportunity for you to do so. Just like the FSA, you can use it for yourself, your spouse, your dependents. I'm going to show you a calculator when we get to the website. And for those of you that are new to this kind of thinking, of trying to think ahead of how much am I going to need, we've got some calculators that really will help you out and help you remember last year, what did you spend, so you can make some educated decisions going forward. So why do some people choose the high deductible? Well, number one, lower premiums, which here it's no premiums, right? And it's individually owned and portable. Like I said, it comes with you. It's your money. There's no use it or lose it. It's your money. You can invest it and in the balances, in the investments, and a couple other things you see up there. So there's a couple qualifications for participating in an HSA. We covered you must be in the high deductible health plan. You're not entitled to Medicare. You can only do an HSA or an FSA. Can't do them both. You got to do one or the other. You can only contribute to one plan at a time. And you cannot be claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return. Your HSA contributions will be taken out of each payroll check. You won't see it. It'll come out before taxes hit. I'll show you on WageWorks.com a list of eligible expenses and where you can go to look this up. Create a file for your receipts. One thing that we suggest to everybody is everything you get that has to do with medical in any way, shape, or form, keep a file on it, save it. Something else we say is take a picture of it and put it into your account that way. I'm going to show you how to do that when we get the app, but your phone will actually serve as a storage locker of sorts where you can just take pictures of every receipt you have and it'll just stay in your account. So that way, if you ever wanted to go back and what was going on with me in February, I can't remember what it was, you can go back and you can find that image in your account. And then there are some tax forms required for doing an HSA. And BNY Mellon, which is the bank that we use, they would send those out to you each year, just like you get other tax forms when you're preparing your taxes. So as far as what the maximum allowable contributions, you can see for a single $3,300, $6,550 for a family. And if you're over 55, you are allowed to do an extra $1,000 on top of either of those numbers to try and catch up and to try and build that amount in your account. And as I said, you can change these at any point. It's not FSA. FSA, you have to say, I am going to contribute X, and that's it. You can't change it. That's the way it is. With HSA, you can change, guys. You can start, you can dip your toe in the water, put a couple bucks in, and then realize, hey, I just tore my knee jogging. I've got a surgery coming up. Let's get some cash in there. And you can increase your contributions and get the money in there. You can pull it back, get it in, however you want to do it. The same thing as far as options is distributing the funds is the same as the flexible spending. The pay me back, the pay by the card, pay my provider, the easy receipts is the app, and the last one's pay me. So this is different with HSA. You can actually log into your account and you say, WageWorks, I need $230 for this medical massage appointment I've got at my chiropractor, whatever it is. And put it in. WageWorks will send you the funds for that. We'll send you the cash out of your account. The eligible expenses, much the same as FSA. It's more relaxed. It's not as stringent, thanks to the IRS. We don't have to have the same checks and balances on the same level as is required for the FSA. So as far as distributions, one thing that's a little different is you go to the doctor and there's negotiated rates with your insurance. So you go and usually you'll go to the doctor and they'll say, okay, we'll bill you. You'll get something in the mail. And you'll get something from the carrier. You'll get something from the doctor if anything is owed. It's called an EOB. It'll come to your house and you'll get this EOB. It'll say the cost was $400 After insurance paid $350, you owe $50. So that is the amount that you now owe for the service that you had done. So you can go and the payment options that we looked at, you would use that EOB to make those payments. Okay, I think we've talked about the rest of those. I'd tell you that the HSA funds can be used for a spouse or dependents, even if they're not enrolled in the HDHP. HDHP is high deductible health plan. And you can use those funds forever. So once again, I just want to reiterate, you don't have to continuously be enrolled in the high deductible health plan. Once this money is in your account, it is yours. It's yours. Never goes anywhere unless you spend it.
That's a question.
Yeah.
So if there's something that carries over past, so if I paid out of pocket for some prescriptions in this calendar year, but I have money in my HSA and I give that information in August, can I get reimbursed for something I spent last September? In a different calendar year, so our calendar year is July to July.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent the money already, but I haven't asked for it back because my account balance changes with other medical.
Mm-hmm.
Could I reimburse that $900 I spent August 1st?
Yes.
As long as you were on an HSA prior to this calendar year.
Right.
It's always from the
I'm
date
on
that you
HSA.
open your HSA.
Correct. Correct.
So it doesn't have a, oh, it's too late to do that, as long as I show that I paid that.
Correct. Yeah.
The funds in there, do they have to go for medical? Or does it hit a point sometime when you use it for something other than medical?
If you use it for non-medical, then you do have to pay taxes on them.
Forever?
After 65?
You'll still have to pay taxes, just not the penalty.
What's that now?
You'll have to pay taxes, just not the penalty if it's an unqualified medical expense.
Right.
If you're over retirement age.
Right. Everybody hear that? If you're over retirement age, you would still have to pay taxes, but you would not have to pay a penalty for using those funds. Yeah.
Can you use them for dental or vision?
Yes. Yes.
Do you need a prescription for the HSA? Do you need to show the prescription? For the
It's not as stringent as it is with the FSA, but the answer, no.
When you say that you can't be on Medicare, is that to put money in or to take money out? If you put money in and saved it and later you were on Medicare, could you take money out still, even though you're not putting money in?
Yes, yes, but you just cannot contribute. Mm-hmm.
If you are on an existing health, if you have an existing health savings account, do you know how that transition is going to work, moving it from our Tango accounts to the new WageWorks account?
I'm going to have an answer pretty soon. So what we're doing right now is the new vendor coming in, we're communicating with the old vendor and trying to figure out how we're going to allocate those funds, how we're going to move things. I can tell you right now pretty much one of two things is going to happen. Either Optum or Tango will transfer the funds to WageWorks, or they won't. And if they won't, then you'll have two accounts where you could start contributing to WageWorks now. And you could use the WageWorks funds now, but you would have this other account with your current right now too. So what I would suggest is every time that you have a medical expense, use the other card first, spend it down, and then you just have one.
If they do transfer it over, how will that work with the IRS, like maximum limits that you can contribute in a year? Because you've contributed the maximum already, and then it's transferred over, doesn't that count?
Yes.
Does that count
Yeah.
for the IRS?
Right.
So then you couldn't put anything more into it.
If you've already, it's a yearly limit. So once you've hit that limit, you've hit that limit.
So what happens if you already have more in that account?
Oh, no, it's new contributions per year. So if you had $15,000 in that account, it's only a yearly contribution amount is the cap, the $3,300 or the $6,550. So that's the number that's a yearly limit. If you're moving money around, that doesn't count as a new contribution.
Okay, so if you move it from one HSA to another HSA, that won't count towards
Correct.
the
You are correct.
Thank you.
You got it. And I've got two accounts right now. My wife her company wouldn't transfer funds. So we've got 2 HSAs right now. And we just know, use this card. We're just using this card for everything, trying to spend it down, and then we'll have 1 card.
So you get 2 1099 essays at the end of the year?
Do I personally? Yeah. Okay, so, yeah.
Those you to have a card, extra money,
Does it charge you to have a card? I'm sorry?
just like the card, in the previous, mine I paid from my pocket, and then I send
The claim?
the claim, and they deposit in my bank.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just use the card. But in this,
Does it cost extra to have a debit card?
It does not cost extra to have a debit card.
yes, the card was, you have to pay like $30 or $20 to have the card.
There's no fees with WageWorks.
Okay, it's the same to have a card on your phone,
Correct. There are no fees at all with the card.
because it's better to use the card than
Sure is easier, isn't it?
paperwork.
Yeah.
I've been taking pictures of my receipts and sending them over to our old, servicer.
Yeah.
Are they gonna be able to transfer those images over to your guys's?
No.
Or is that not even in negotiation?
You can download them before we switch, and if you want, I can send you those instructions. It's just real easy. You go into your account, you click download, and it'll have all of your picture receipts, and then you can save them on your home computer or something like that.
But you're not gonna try and transfer over the.
Okay, so with an HSA, you've got a couple options. You can take your contributions and you can leave them in your account, and they're just cash. And the money's right there, it's sitting right there. What some people choose to do is they want to try and grow that money. They want to invest it. So kind of shift your brain a little bit, think about a 401k. So you've got these funds, you can invest in these funds. We've got 16 funds that if you choose to invest, you can. Now, a couple things is you have to get to $1,000 balance to be able to elect to invest, which might be on the next screen. Yeah. So we see at the bottom you have to have $1,000 minimum balance to invest. You don't have to keep it at $1,000. You really just need $1,000 balance to open that investment door. Once you're in, if your portfolio falls below that, that's fine. That's okay. One thing you should be aware of, if you do choose to invest, there's a $2 per month fee that is charged for moving the money around. As I mentioned, there's 16 mutual fund options. All the information is online. You can investigate them, see what the rates are and returns and whatnot. Now, something to think about. So let me give you a scenario. Let's say that I had $1,000 and I said, I want to invest it all. So I put it all into mutual funds, in my investment options. And then walking down the street, I broke my leg. I had $0 like liquid cash in my HSA anymore because I invested all of it. Well, I would go to my account and if I needed $350 to pay for my broken leg, then it's very simple to do. You just type in sell $350 and it would sell that amount and put that liquid cash back into your account. So you could pay your bill for your broken leg. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Something to be aware of with your HSA is if you get a paper statement in the mail, you will be charged 75 cents. So go in and elect an electronic statement. It'll be emailed to you. You can check it at any time, and you're not going to be charged. That's what I'd recommend you do.
So maybe, are you done with the investing part?
Uh,
Can we move on to this?
What would you like to know?
So the question is if you're investing and your investments lose money, then you don't have money for healthcare.
Yeah.
So that's the other part of that. So you put the $1,000 and something happened and it ended up being $200. That's all you have to pay a health bill because the other money's gone.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely something to think about. One thing you'll find, the funds that are selected They're very neutral funds. There's not a whole lot of volatility with them, but still there's things to analyze and look at and make decisions, because you're absolutely right. You know, if you go that route. So plenty of people say, I have no interest in investing. I want to keep it all right here where I can stare at it and it doesn't change unless I touch it. So yeah, absolutely something to consider. Yeah.
Do they have on that site what the performance of each fund is, or do you have to go elsewhere to find that?
It's on the website. Yeah.
So the example you used where you broke your leg and you needed $350, that may or may not be there depending on the cost of the stock at that point.
True. True.
Or whatever, I mean, you may have bought it very high and now you're selling it very low.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the $1,000 minimum is for investment. If you had more than that in your account, could you choose to just invest a portion of it then?
You can invest what you have. You need $1,000 to open that investment door. So you need to begin with a minimum $1,000 investment.
Okay. But is that the minimum amount to invest then as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Question over here.
So if you have some of your money invested, do you have to sell it in order to pay the healthcare costs?
When you have healthcare costs, you need liquid cash. And so if it's all invested, you would have to sell some of it to pay that. Or you could pay out of pocket too. That's what. There's plenty of people in the world that they contribute as much as they can to their HSA and put the card in a drawer and never look at the account, and then maybe they don't get sick very often, and they pay straight out of cash for their medical, and they just use the HSA as a tax vehicle and just let it sit there and invest and roll over, and that's what they do to lower their tax bracket. Yeah.
Does the bank pay any interest on the cash portion?
Does the bank pay interest on the cash portion? It's just whatever the return of the fund is.
But if you don't invest,
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
The current one does.
No, there's no interest on the cash portion.
certain balance to
So I'm guessing
get
if,
back.
With WageWorks?
your investment increases, that's not counted
Oh.
as a contribution. It's just,
I'm sorry?
if your investment increases, that's not counted as a contribution.
If your investment
If
increases,
I invest 1,000, it's worth 2,000, a month later, whatever.
No.
That's not an
No.
increase, that's not against my.
correct. It's only what comes out of your paycheck.
Okay.
If you've invested, does it show in real time how much your HSA is currently worth,
Yes.
including that investment?
Yes. And I'll show you that when we jump into the website, which we've got. 150 is a hard stop right there, or questions start at 150. Well, they've begun already, but.
You're the last one, we just have to be out by 2.
Okay, I just want to make sure I can show you everything. Did I see another hand? Okay. Okay, we'll get the tax forms. So if you separate from the company, like I said earlier, it is yours. It stays with you. You can bring it, you can retire with it. You start up another HSA somewhere else, however you want to do things. It's your money, it doesn't go anywhere.
Could you explain the tax forms a little bit and talk about that? You got it stopped at 75 cents.
Yep. So as far as the tax forms go, just like anything else, any other entities that you do business with, or like you get your W-2 mailed to you at the end of the year, we will mail you, or BNY Mellon, our partner bank, will mail you whatever is needed for your taxes each year. So when you're going through TurboTax or you have an accountant, you'll either pull that form out when it calls for it, or you'll hand it to your accountant, and they'll enter it in there. All right, so a couple of differences between the FSA and the HSA. The FSA can be used with any of your choices for whatever health plan you go with. The HSA can only be used with a high deductible. The maximum elections, you can see the differences there between the FSA and the HSA. The FSA, you can have your money, the amount you elected, day one. It says January 1st, that's wrong. It's July 1st. But you can have it immediately. With the HSA, you can only have it as it enters your account. So if you've done the full contribution of $65.50 and whatever that amounts to, $140 a paycheck or whatever, I made that up, as that money comes into your account, you have access to it. Yes.
Is the catch-up for age 65 and over or 55 and over?
It's 50, it is 55. You're right, it does.
Okay.
But the FSA, use it or lose it. You've got 1 year to use those funds. So it's something to be mindful of. If you're making those decisions, to be on top of it or make a conservative contribution. The end of the year balance, 100% rollover with the HSA. Tied to employment, yes, with the FSA. If you no longer work at UVU, you've got the period after you're termed from employment, and then your FSA availability goes away. With the HSA, you can bring it with you. Yes, sir.
We still have the 75-day grace period on the FSA?
Yes.
90 days.
90 days. There are no mutual funds with the FSA. It's only the HSA. You can use a debit card for both accounts. And the medical, dental, vision are the eligible expenses for both. So I'm going to go through the health card substantiation fairly quickly because I want to spend time on the app and the website. But if you're asked when you're trying to use your card, it should usually know to use a credit instead of a debit. You can request a PIN number if you wanted to, but your life will be a lot easier just to select credit and use it as a credit card. The card's only going to work at approved vendors. So I mentioned at the top IIAS. There's a link on our website. You can find out where these are. There's 90,000 of them across the country. Anything that's a big name, big box retailer, they're going to accept the card. It's a very smart card. This little strip on the back of this thing, it knows what's going on. If you walk into Target and you buy a bag of M&Ms and you've got a prescription, you go up to the cashier, she'll ring it up, you hand her your WageWorks card, she'll swipe it, and it'll know the prescription was $20, and then she'll say, oh, and you owe $1.19 for the M&Ms. So this thing knows not to pay for the M&Ms. You need a doctor's note for that one, and a very interesting doctor too. So what the card's looking for when you go to swipe it. There's 4 checks. Number 1, is it a valid merchant? Number 2, has the card been activated? You got to do it just like any other credit card when you get it in the mail. And they will be mailed to you before July 1st. The card has not been suspended, and there's enough balance on the card to pay for it. If all those go through, the swipe will work. The card will decline in other situations. So Amazon.com, let's say you go there and you're buying something that should be able to be reimbursed for FSA. It's not a certified vendor. So because of that, the card's not going to work if you're sitting on your couch buying something that way. In that instance, you would have to pay out of pocket and then submit something through WageWorks. So when is a receipt needed? Or when is a receipt not needed? So at the IIAS, any of those certified stores or medical doctor's offices, for co-payments, we know what any co-payments would be. Any kind of recurring transaction. If you ever do have to validate something with WageWorks, once it's in the system, if it was $18.79 at this merchant, you'll never have to validate it again. So once it's validated once, never again. And then if we matched up with your insurance information, we could use that as well. When receipts are needed for co-insurance and deductibles, it purchases at 90% pharmacies, which I don't want to drag us into the weeds too much, but there's some pharmacies that are, they're not at the Walgreens level. They have to prove that 90% of their business is pharmaceutical sales. It would really drag us down in the weeds to give you much of a definition there, but if it's Bob's Pharmacy, there's chances that you may have to validate with a receipt if you bought something at Bob's Pharmacy as opposed to Walgreens, if they were not IIAS certified, or if there's an odd dollar amount that doesn't match a co-payment. If we do need a receipt, WageWorks will contact you. We'll send you an email. We'll say, hey, we need you to substantiate that purchase. Show us what it was. it's one of the things I tell people, and I'll show you when we get to the app. Take a picture of everything. Send it into WageWorks, because if we ever need something from you, before we reach out to you, we're going to look and see, have you submitted this? And if we find it, we're never going to reach out to you. We'll keep sending out emails to you saying, hey, we need this. And if 90 days go by and you haven't sent something into us, then the card may suspend. To unsuspend the card, you would need to send in that receipt, or you would need to send in an alternate receipt. Okay, submitting. Okay, I'm going to switch now to the app, just in the interest of time. I'm going to talk about what I had left on there.
Question about the receipts.
Yeah,
That's only for FSA, correct?
correct. I should have been clear about that. Okay.
So you
Oh.
don't need receipts for HSA?
The IRS does, correct?
Correct. I can never talk while I do this, while I type in the password for some reason. Now, come on. The server. That's interesting. Let's do that. Oh, we don't want to go into Sirius satellite radio. It's right next to it. Okay. I wish I could. I'm talking a little bit while I do this. Usually I confuse myself. I don't know if this is my internet or what. That's interesting.
Are you trying to get on with Wi-Fi?
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that Wi-Fi is for some reason. We did it, but I'll just go to the Sky and see if that works. All right, last try before we bail and go to the website. All right, for some reason the internet was not working. So we're going straight to the Sky. All right, so the app I'm going to show you, it's available for iPhone, iPad, Android. Does anyone in the room have a BlackBerry? There's not one person in here that's a BlackBerry? Usually one person sheepishly raises their hand and they're kind of embarrassed about it. Okay, but usually there's at least one. And they're always embarrassed. Okay, so we can use, this is an awesome little app here, guys. One thing, let me go into profiles here. So I can come in and I can set my text preferences, my email preferences, where I can tell WageWorks, hey, this is how I want you to communicate with me. So I've got mine set at the max, where if I make a claim, WageWorks sends me an email or a text, or they send me both actually. It says, hey, we received your claim. It'll be processed within 2 days. And then they send me an email that says, your claim has been processed. And then they send me a final one that says, payment has been sent. So I always know what's going on with my claims. You can set these up any way you want. You can see the one here, my card is declined and tell me why. You can set that so you go and you swipe your card, it gets declined at Walgreens, bzz, your phone's going to buzz, and you look down, it's going to tell you why it was declined. So it helps you stay in front and understand what's going on. So you can do that with your email, with your text. Great way to just understand your accounts. So I'm going to show you a couple of different things here. Number one, healthcare claim. Let's say that I just paid for something out of pocket, okay, and I want to be reimbursed. So I'm hitting healthcare claim, and I'm going at the speed of AT&T right now. So it would be a little quicker if our internet was working, but for whatever reason, it's not. So I can do a couple things here. I can do the healthcare claim. I can submit a healthcare card receipt, and I can also make a dependent care claim. Come on now.
Are you still talking about FSAs or HSAs or both?
Both. And if anyone came up and talked to me out in the hall, this thing was using nonstop. You can see I've got one bar up there, so let me close out and come back in. She's just chugging along. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to sit here. We're not going to sit there and stare at that. I'll let that try and boot up, and then in the meantime, Let me show you what online looks like. And I'm going to take you right into my own personal account. Of course this thing goes as soon as I put it over here. Okay. So here's the WageWorks website, guys. We're going to come in here. I'm going to log in. I'm going to hit employee login. You know what? It just came up, so I'm going to jump back real quick just because it's sitting right here. So I don't have to log in again. Sorry about the jumping back and forth. It's the sky. It's not me. So I selected healthcare claim. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make a claim on the go. It's when it comes up, it's 5 easy steps. I hit next. And if I've used a provider before, they're going to stay in my account. This is my personal account. Dr. Death, this is my demo account. You see a bunch of weird things in here. If I need to add someone else, I hit add new provider. I put my doc in. But we'll hit Dr. Cohn's here. And if I need to adjust the date, I would do just that. Why am I submitting this? I've got my reasons here. Let's say I was getting some lab work done. I've got my family loaded in here. If I want to tie it to them, if someone's not listed, I can add them with the Add Dependent button. Let's put in my amount here that I paid out of pocket. Okay, that looks good. I hit Next, and it says, where's your receipt? So let me take a picture of my receipt. There's, look at Taylor hiding. But I can see it's clear. So I hit Next. I like it. It's not like the old days when you had to fax something and was it blurry? Did they even get it? I don't even know. This is clear. I can see it. If not, I retake the picture. I hit Submit, and as soon as this bar goes across, it's going to go across really quick. Or would if it was on internet, but I guess the sky's a little slower. But you can see the orange going across. As soon as that goes across, WageWorks will send an email or a text. Hey, we got your claim. We'll have a process in 2 days. The money will be in your account within 2 to 5 days. So it's that easy. So slow sky here in Utah, apparently. Let's say we ask for a receipt. If we need a receipt for something, or this is where I was saying, I tell everybody, submit everything you got. Okay, so this is what I do. Every time I use my card, no matter what, I just go right in here. And depending on the sky, we'll see how long this takes me. Actually, I've never done this for a live studio audience before, but I'm going to time how long this takes.
I just downloaded the app and I'm connected to the internet.
Oh, look at you trying to show off.
No, I'm trying to help you.
Let's see. So, okay, look. So let me go back and let me time this real quick. Let's see if we need it, Taylor. I'm going to submit a receipt. So I'm going to start my clock right now. I'm going to submit my receipt. Okay, it was today's date. So I hit Next. The amount was $87.90. I hit Next. I'm going to take a picture. Okay, the photo looks good. I'm going to hit Next. I'm going to hit Submit. That was 18 seconds. So that's how long it takes to submit a receipt, guys. And it's in my account for good. So that's how easy it is. All right, 18 seconds to do. All right, I'm going to show you one more before we jump to the website. And that's a dependent care claim. This one's for FSA, for child care, nanny, things along those lines, if you are working. So once again, I've got any provider I've used in the past has been loaded in here. We'll say it's for my nanny, Daria Jones. We're going to pay for services that have already occurred. So put in that date. Once again, I've got my explanations here. We say we're going to do nanny. As I come down here, got the family loaded. There's Claire. Here's the amount. Pretty pricey. And I turn to my nanny and I say, hey, can I have a receipt? And she says, oh, I don't have receipts. And I said, okay, will you just sign? So then with her finger, that's what we say, Daria Jones, boom, hit confirm, hit submit, same thing as the FSA. It's been submitted to WageWorks, processing the claim, money's back in your accounts. Pretty stinking easy. Okay. And like Taylor said, she just downloaded the app while we were sitting here. Piece of cake to bring it in and get it downloaded. It's free of charge. It's awesome. Okay, so now we're going into my personal account. Everybody close your eyes. All right, so we're in. Okay, so first thing I'm going to call to your attention is you see some scrolling going across there. Okay, this is my live account. This is what your live account is going to look like too. So my last five transactions are what's scrolling across there. And so I can go in at any point And if I want, I can click over something. And okay, I just happen to do this one. We see the red. We see need receipt. I can come right in and, okay, what's going on with this one? Oh, it's for my dentist. I'm going to submit a receipt right from here. So I can go to that one right from here. Now, I'm not going to do that because it's my actual account. But let me go back to the front. We see a commuter account. That's not offered to you folks, so it's not going to be here. This is an FSA I had previous years, so that's why it's still showing up. I come all the way down, and we can see my BNY Mellon account. So we see here, my total election, we see $6,483. My available cash, I've got $736 cash that I can use right now to pay any provider, whatever. Invested right now in the market, I've got $2,333. And that's out there. Can't touch it this second, but if I needed to, I could sell that and it would end up where that 736 number is. Okay, I'm going to dive into this more in just a sec, but I want to make sure I cover a couple things because I've had some questions today. Number one, card center. This is where you can come up. If you lose your card, you can order a new card. If you want to order one for a spouse, or maybe you've got a daughter in college or something, you can come in. You can order cards for them here too. Okay. We talked about calculators. Okay, so something I can do if you notice when I was going through the app, I could put it to my daughter or my son or me. If I want to see where's the spend going, how is this breaking out? I can if I did that with my actual one, which I personally just don't, I could do that by payment feature. How have I been reimbursed? And we can see how this goes. Actually, this is just for my FSA right here. If I come down to my HSA, I still don't think I do it for that either. I don't. Okay, so as far as calculators go, this is a cool little thing. So you can come in here if you're like, how much do I spend? What do I do? So, okay, what am I? I'm a single or I'm a couple? I'm a couple. Okay, so I do this, I hit next. And am I this age? Do I have young children, teenagers, elder dependent? So I'll hit this one. And I come in, I'm like, okay, so this is what helps you plan for next year if you're thinking about things. So, okay, so doctor's visits and other medical expenses. Let's see, last year I know I was down, I know we were like $675. Maybe you know exactly. Maybe you're like my wife and you know everything to the penny. If it was me, I'm like, I think it was around here. Prescriptions fill, let's see, we've got 2 prescriptions that we always have to get filled, so I know that's more like right around here. I can come down to dental and vision, and I can slide these around for each of these. And then at the end of the thing, hit what's my result. Down here we can see 5,063 is what it recommends based on how I filled things in if I was doing my HSA. And so it's going to give me and my family some confidence on how much we elect to invest if we didn't want to do the maximum. Make sense, everybody? You can do this for FSA, you can do it for HSA too. Okay, so let's head back to the front page here. I've been asked about this one a lot today. Eligible expenses. I can click on here, and everything is going to come up based on what program I select. So one thing about WageWorks is as long as we have a relationship together, your different plans are going to store in here. So if things change with the IRS, you're like, wait a second, I know that last year I could deduct this with FSA, and WageWorks is telling you can't. You can go in here and check and see, oh, last year it was acceptable and something changed and this year it's not. So if you wanted to research that, you could. But you can pick your plan and you can come on down and pick a letter that things start with. And nasal sprays, yes, but I need a prescription. Nasal strips, yes, but I need a doctor's note prescription. So you can go through and you can find out what all the, what isn't expensible. All right, so let me show you how to use this stinking thing. All right, so let me go into my HSA, and what we're going to see here is all of my activity. So we see this investment account transfer, we see the Quest Diagnostics, Walgreens. So we see everything that's in here, all my activity. Let's say I've got something, a new claim. So I'm going to hit submit, receipt, or claim. So pay me back. That's where I paid $20 cash and I've got the receipt and I want to do that. I can do that. I can do pay me, where I just want to say, hey, WageWorks, I need $212 for this kind of procedure, and they'll send me the money. Or I can do that pay my provider. I'll show you this one because it's kind of a cool one. So make a one-time payment, come in, and we'll say the service date was here. I don't need to do the end date. And pretty simple, right? Office visit. Whoa. $45. Now, do not let me hit submit because this is my personal account and I've done that before and I have to go out and delete it. We'll say it's for my wife. I've got my invoice number here. I've got the account because I've got an EOB sitting in front of me. It's going to say make sure your invoice and your account number are correct. Okay, let me double check. Okay, that's right. Hit OK. And anyone I've paid money to before is stored in here. Okay? So I've orthopedic, I moved from Dallas to Denver, so come in here, and this shows me $45. It's for my wife. It's going to be mailed here. Got the blah, 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 blah. Hit submit claim, and if I did that, it would say, okay, now upload your EOB. What I always do, or let me tell you, what you can do is you can scan it and upload it right with your computer. Probably a lot of people do that. I personally am not a big scanner guy. I don't love the scanner. So what I do in this exact situation, I hit submit, pull out my phone, open up Easy Receipts, and I do that 18-second one that we did. Boom, take a picture of it. 18 seconds, I just submitted it. The scanner, that's going to take me at least 9 for some reason. I'm just not a good scanner guy. So it's that easy, guys. That's how you submit a claim. We talked about orthodontia at one point. If I wanted to set up recurring payments, I would do the same thing, those exact steps, but it would say recurring payment instead of a one-time payment. So we talked about investments. So let me show you what that looks like and how easy that is. So I come down. Over here on the left-hand side, I see investment options. So I click on this, and it's going to bring me right into BNY Mellon. It's going to log me right in. And the next thing we're going to see is my account. So if I wanted to, my cash portion, remember it's that $736 amount, I could take this and I can move it into any of these funds. I can click on the PDF if I want to. If I click on this, it's going to pull up all the fund information if I want to research, if I want to send them on to my financial planner, have him tell me how to do things. That's what we've got. So we can see what my balances are. How we can see over here on the right that when I do invest, how I've got it spread apart here. And what I did do is I went to my financial advisor and I said, how should I do this? And he told me invest here, here, and here, and here. And that's the way I've got it set up. If someone asks about tax forms, if I lost the one that was mailed to me, I can click on it and have it sent that way. Yes?
When you choose the option to pay me back,
Yeah.
is there a way to connect an account to deposit it into, or do you get it as a check?
You can do either or. So if you don't do anything, we're going to send you a check. You can go in, you can put in your direct deposit info, and we'll send it right there. We're coming up on the clock. Who's got questions? Yes?
I need to kind of back up.
Yep.
So you can only do the HSA from payroll deduction, and you won't.
That's the way it's easy to do. But if you wanted to put a lump sum in, you can make a one-time payment to WageWorks to put money in there.
Okay, that would be post-tax though?
It would, but you can square up on the back end with the IRS.
Not for the employment taxes, only for the income tax.
Correct. Yeah.
But that's not a good option if you can choose the option of having it come out of your paycheck.
Right. But if you have a big surgery or something right at the beginning of the year,
So that was my question.
Yeah.
If I'm only putting in $100 every paycheck.
yeah.
To try and, eventually hit that max of $3,300 for the year, but I have a major surgery come August, I don't have money available to cover.
Right. So so a couple options. Okay. You can do pay me back if you want to pay out of pocket. You can be reimbursed as those funds come into your account. You can make a lump sum payment to get in there. But it's one of those things. That's when you're starting out with an HSA. It's just one of those things.
Okay, and then
What is it?
For the high deductible health plan, if you're on single only coverage, $3,000 is your maximum.
The max that I would, okay. So
If
what,
you have family coverage, then it's 6,000.
you could technically build up, if you had no expenses for one whole year, you could build up and have enough to start the next year.
Yes.
These are a lot of ifs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, and it's a lot. It's taking a look at what's the traditional, what's my out of pocket there, and what's this. You know, and you know, guys, I was I loved. I was an abuser of healthcare. I feel like I'm in a meeting right now. I'm the biggest hypochondriac there is. I mean, I'd really I'd go to orthopedic. You saw the Dallas Orthopedic on there. With my elbow, I went in there and he's like, "You're fine. Give it 2 weeks rest." After a week, I went back in. I was like, "I need an MRI. I need an MRI. There's something wrong with my elbow." He's like, "I don't think you do, but fine." Writes me a $1,500 script. I go down there. This is when I was on a traditional. Got an MRI, and they're like, "Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it." And I was like, "Yeah, it doesn't hurt that much anymore." And I abused healthcare. I did. I had a problem. I was a hypochondriac. But once I got on this, it's going to cost me money to go get an MRI. So I don't do that anymore. I'm a much more knowledgeable consumer. I don't run off to the doctor anymore. If they do say, "Hey, you need an MRI," now I don't just say, "Okay, where do I go?" I say, "Give me some options." And they give me 5. And I call each one. And I say, "Hey, I need an MRI. How much?" And I find out, oh, it's $1,500 here, but it's $700 here. I got to drive 20 minutes farther. I do that. And I'm saving myself money now, saving my employer money. And in the big picture, it's good stuff. You know, it takes a mind shift to go to an HSA. But at the end of the day, I'm saving every dollar I don't spend on a medicine I don't need or a doctor's visit I don't need stays in my family's pocket and is with us next year, 5 years from now, 15, 50 years from now, who knows? So, you know, you become a consumer and use your consumerism to make smart choices. If you want to be blind and just run to the doctor every second, then go on the other plan. HSA isn't for you. If you just want to run off and be the old me and every time something hurt, do that. Yes, sir.
You showed us how to put in receipts if you're going to pay the provider or pay yourself back.
Yeah.
I assume there's an option to just put them in for payment 20 years down the road, just to have them in a system?
Yeah. Yeah, the 18-second one that I did, if you just pop those in, I'm not attaching them. If I do just that, I'm not attaching it to anything. So I'm just putting it into my account. And it's just there. So it's just there.
Is there a way to do that also just through the web interface, not necessarily the mobile app?
Healthcare card receipt. Let's see. I don't think so.
Okay. We
Yeah.
need that for those of us who don't use mobile apps.
Still scan your receipt.
You can still, well,
No?
Where would you put them in?
You'd have to put it towards a claim, looks like.
I don't want to get paid back, but I want the receipts in there so that I can have them documented for 20 years down the road. I'll take the money out.
let me double back with Taylor. That might be something we can turn on at an account level, but I don't want to speak out of school, so let me find out.
Is it possible that I scan it and attach it to an email and send you the email? Because I don't have a cell phone.
You can't. You can scan it and upload it through your account, but not an email.
And what is an account on the internet?
Yes, on the internet. Or you can mail it in. You can print off a form and mail it. You can fax it. So there's several options.
Then I don't need to scan it.
You're right.
And if I scan it, how do I put it in the internet?
When you scan it,
To my email.
well, you would scan it into your computer, and then I didn't show you.
To my email. And then what do I do from there?
You have to save it out of your email as a PDF, and then you'd attach the PDF.
Exactly right.
It's an attachment for you guys.
Do I put it in my desktop and then attach it to the?
Sure.
Back to the FSA and HSA, you don't really care about receipts on the HSA, do you? I mean, we need to keep them in case the IRS wants to see them, but you don't really care about receipts. on
Correct.
HSA. But we better keep them,
Yeah,
and we can keep them in your system.
you can, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have to have it for the HSA if you're asking for money that you've already spent.
Correct.
If you've already paid it out of pocket, now you have to show that it was a medical expense.
Well, you can also select to pay me, and you can just tell WageWorks, hey, I need it for this. It's just, you know, it comes down if you're audited by the IRS. Do you have a receipt?
But, okay, the one we have now, there's an option of pay me back. So we go and we buy our stuff with our Sky Miles card, and then we go into the computer and say, pay me back. And it just automatically ships the money back to our account.
Mm-hmm.
Will we still have that option?
And that would just be the pay me, right?
Mhm.
Saying, I spent this money,
Mhm.
it's eligible for reimbursement, and you don't even care if it's eligible for reimbursement. We could have gone and bought a DVD, and you'll still send us the money.
Yeah, the onus is on you.
Yes.
It's your account. You're the one that has going to have to sit across the table from the IRS if you're being audited and showing I spent this money on X, what I claimed.
But
So-
the functionality is still present, sounds like, that we had.
Yep,
with the
yep.
previous vendor, yeah.
Yep, it is. Yeah.
You need to do that for the flexible spending?
For the submitted receipt? Yes, you do need to, you need to submit a receipt for the flexible spending.
Let's say we start with you now in July. The first time that I go to every doctor, do I need to validate that?
The first time you go to every doctor? You probably won't need to at most doctors. Most doctors are going to be set up on the IIAS system where you swipe that card and it'll go right through.
So the card is good for the FSA and the H?
Yes, it works on both programs.
So I pay with the card and I keep the receipt?
Yep. Always keep your receipts.
Time's up for this. So thank you all for coming. This will be online, so if you have any additional questions, you'll be able to access it online. Also, we got you set up to come back.
Yep, May 6th, Tuesday, 2 weeks from yesterday.
So he will be back May 6th, so as you're going through this, it'll be before the end of open enrollment. So if you're going through and you're working everything out, and you need more answers, come back on May 6th, then we'll have Matt back and he'll do a presentation then again and answer all the questions that you have. Anyway, thank you all, and don't forget to enroll.
Thank you.